All right, let's talk about the solar system's most forgotten world, Mercury. You probably think of it as just a boring gray rock. Maybe you've even seen pictures and mistaken it for our moon. But let me tell you, this tiny planet is hiding some of the most extreme and frankly surprising secrets in our entire cosmic neighborhood. So let's just get this straight. We are going to completely forget everything we think we know about Mercury. We're going to take a hypothetical trip and find out what would really happen if you just fell onto the planet closest to the sun. Is it as dull as it looks, or is it a world of absolutely mind-bending contrasts? Let's find out. Okay, so before we take the plunge, we need to get to know the place we're about to, crash into. Mercury is the smallest planet in the solar system. It's so small and unassuming that it honestly just gets lost in the sun's glare most of the time. But you really, really shouldn't let its size fool you. Now check this out, because this is Mercury's first big secret. It's tiny, right? I mean, it's smaller than 2 of the moons in our own solar system. But, and this is the crazy part, it's unbelievably dense. It's got this massive iron core that makes it the second densest planet out there, right after Earth. It's basically a cannonball in a system full of beach balls. So, if it's right next door, cosmically speaking, why have we only sent a couple of probes to visit? You'd think it'd be an easy trip, right? Well, nope. Getting to Mercury is one of the hardest, most complicated journeys a spacecraft can possibly take. See, here's the problem. To get to Mercury, you're literally falling towards the sun. And as you get closer, the sun's immense gravity just grabs you and speeds you up so fast you'd fly right past the planet. So to slow down, a probe has to perform this incredible 7-year-long cosmic ballet, using the gravity of Earth, Venus, and Mercury itself to hit the brakes. It just shows you how ridiculously hard it is to even get there. All right, so imagine we've somehow survived that 7-year journey. We're finally here. It's time for the main event, the fall. As you're coming down towards that gray, cratered surface, it looks a lot like our moon, peaceful, silent, from a distance. As you're plummeting towards the ground, you'd start to notice something is deeply, deeply wrong. See, on Earth, the atmosphere creates friction. You get that fiery re-entry that slows things down. Mercury, it has virtually no atmosphere. So there's no friction, no fire, no sound, absolutely nothing to break your fall. So here's the crucial point. Your arrival isn't a landing, it's a collision. With no atmosphere to provide any kind of braking, you would just slam into the solid ground at full speed. It would be abrupt, totally silent, and completely unforgiving. Okay, let's just pretend for a second that you survived that impact. Welcome to Mercury. You are now standing on a planet that is defined by the most violent contrasts you can possibly imagine. Your experience here is going to depend entirely on where and when you arrived. This chart really says it all. You're looking at the most extreme temperature swing in the entire solar system. Land on the side facing the sun, and you're looking at 427 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to melt lead. But since Mercury has no atmosphere to hold on to that heat, and it spins super slowly, its night lasts for 88 Earth days. And during that long, dark night, the temperature plummets to a bone-chilling minus 160 degrees. And why these crazy mood swings? Well, it really comes down to 2 things. First, Mercury has this wild, egg-shaped orbit that brings it super close to the sun and then way farther out. And second, its axis is almost perfectly straight up and down. Unlike Earth's tilts, which gives us seasons, Mercury's tiny little tilt means its poles are stuck in a permanent twilight, never getting any direct sun. So it really seems like your only options are to be vaporized or flash frozen. But this is where Mercury completely flips the script. The key to survival isn't on the surface at all. It's just underneath it. Let's take a look at the planet's hidden potential. Okay, first, let's head out to the poles. Remember that minimal tilt I mentioned? It means the bottoms of some craters up there haven't seen a single ray of sunlight in billions of years. The warmest it has ever gotten in some of these spots is a frigid minus 106 degrees Celsius. And what do you find in places that are permanently dark and freezing cold? You guessed it, water. In these polar craters, scientists have confirmed there are massive deposits of water ice. We're not talking a little bit, we are talking up to 1 trillion tons of it. That is a staggering amount of water. But this is the real shocker. This is the most unbelievable part of the whole story. If you move away from the poles and you dig just 1 meter, that's about 3 feet, beneath that hostile surface,
the extreme temperatures just vanish. The ground stabilizes at a comfortable, steady 22 degrees Celsius. That's 72 Fahrenheit. Perfect room temperature.
So, all of a sudden, this boring little planet is looking a whole lot more interesting, isn't it? You've got a stable Earth-like temperature just below your feet, plus massive reserves of water ice. It really makes you wonder, what else has Mercury got hiding up its sleeve?
So let's actually run down the checklist here, because the case for setting up shop on Mercury is surprisingly strong. The gravity is similar to Mars, which is manageable for the human body. You've got all that water ice for drinking, breathable air, and even rocket fuel. Up on the surface, you have basically unlimited solar energy, and that whole underground shelter protects you from radiation and impacts, all while you're enjoying that perfect room temperature. So what's the bottom line? When you add it all up, the subsurface of Mercury transforms from this planetary afterthought into one of the most valuable and shockingly habitable locations in the entire solar system. It's a genuine piece of prime real estate that, could in many ways be even better than Mars. So we've gone from a desolate, boring rock to a hidden sanctuary with stable temperatures and tons of water. What you should really take away from all this is that in space, things are almost never what they seem on the surface. Mercury teaches us that you should never, ever judge a planet by its cover. The real question is, what other secrets are just hiding out there in plain sight?